Yeah. I mean, you and I both are big on like the impact, right? I think you're about to get into it. Let's hear what you have to say about
Yeah.
what we can
So
do with our money.
exactly. For me, girl, it was like a definite U-Haul. God, would send a lot of people to pray over me, speak words over me that I'd be a millionaire and billionaire. And I'm like, it just kind of felt a little weird. But then I
Yeah.
started to understand that God wanted to renew my mind about money because it is
Yeah.
spiritual. God's kingdom he's not broke. He is not a God who's tight. He owns everything.
Yeah.
So the fact that with wealth, it's just how we steward it.
Hey, Queen. Welcome to the She Elevates podcast. I'm your host, Liz Rakin, your favorite elevation bestie who's been through it, healed from it, and came back stronger with a mission. This podcast is your safe space and soul sanctuary where we talk real about relationships, motherhood, money, mindset, and everything in between. So if you're ready to reclaim your power, reconnect your purpose, and rewrite your story, let's get into it.
Olivia, welcome to the She Elevates podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Liz. Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, of course. I'm super excited. We met just a few weeks ago in another business challenge.
Mhm.
Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about you and what you do, Olivia?
I'm Olivia Jones, born and raised in Hawaii, a single mom of two. I have two daughters, 23-year-old and a 15-year-old. Love them immensely, love spending time together. And what I do now, Liz, is I actually am a performance coach who helps those who have high pressures. So these are leaders, executives, coaches, and traders. And I help them respond to pressure well so that clarity will come and they turn their stress into not having their decisions cost them their health, their family, and relationships. That's what I do.
Oh my gosh, this is huge. This is so important. It's
Mm-hmm.
much needed. There's a lot of high performers that are running around, and you and I can relate, right?
Yes. Yes.
We do everything and want our hands on everything, and we push ourselves to the limit, right? To be the
Oh my
best that we can
gosh.
be.
Yes.
I love this. This is fantastic. So, you've told us a little bit with who you work with. What are you seeing with some of these high performers?
Um, it's a lot of, well, they're really good at what they do. I mean, that's why they get paid very well. But the man was there, the stress is beyond. It's so
Mm.
much demand on them. They can't even sleep. They're having poor health. Their relationships are like just really strained. So, yeah, it's so unfortunate, right? They built it for their families, and now they can't really stand each other. So, yeah,
Yeah,
helping them
yeah.
back.
My gosh, yeah, it's like you focused your whole life, right,
Hmm.
in the business or your job, or like you said, trading. You kind of lose yourself, right?
Yes.
Almost like finding yourself there, just like your clients, they're trying to figure out life after hitting these peak levels, right?
Yes, totally, girl. Yes. And you have amazing, beautiful children. I've been following you.
Thank you. They are my heart. They've been enjoying this crazy snow we've got.
I
So it's been wild. I'm just trying to keep my sanity with my light therapy hitting at me at all angles.
light therapy. Love it.
Oh, yeah, much needed. So, what is it that these clients, what are they realizing when they are totally immersed in what they love and they've achieved these fabulous results? What are some of the signs that they're seeing where they're like, wait, something has to change, right? Something's not working for me.
Yeah, I think the signs that they see that's not working for them is so for example, like let's say they have these deadlines and they're really, really good at executing these deadlines, but they found themselves like if they're managing their teams or they're managing people and they're not, when the thing happens, like when crap happens, they're easily triggered and they lose their cool. Like
Mm.
they're so triggered, like they just can't afford to have anything go wrong. And so
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the main signs. And yeah, and then they find themselves either in full of regrets of they hired this person and calling them names and all kinds of stuff.
Oh my
But
gosh, you
yeah.
must have some great stories.
Mm-hmm.
that you get to
Mm-hmm.
hear every day, right?
Yes.
But it's so true. I mean, if we look at the just the world today in general, right? Like stress has been controlling our lives,
Oh
like, and
my
it's
gosh.
gotten worse, right? There's so much pressure from society, from other people around us, from our family, especially for entrepreneurs, where your family who's been by your side is now questioning what you're doing. All of those things cause so much stress. I can see why this is much, much needed for those individuals and
Yes.
probably for myself too.
Yeah, and I want to just kind of put something in there. Women, especially because we're moms too, so the work is not done,
Mm,
girl. When you get home, that's just a whole nother world to like the beast has to be tamed, you know? So you have these children who are hungry
yes.
and oh my gosh, yes. So women in general were really overwhelmed and burnt out.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
We've definitely, I feel like when we look back and we ask to be able to work and provide financially to the household, like we asked for all of this stuff, but nobody took anything off of our plate, right?
Exactly.
Like you said, we still have the household. We are still caregivers by nature. So I feel like even if someone was like, no, you don't have to do all that, we'll be like, no, we love doing this. And this is what fulfills me and makes me happy.
Yes.
uh, right? It's like it makes me start to wonder like our own boundaries, right? Is there a piece of that where you
Mhm.
see like, okay, I need to teach them some boundaries, like we have to say no in this area of our life, and this is going to
Yes.
take away some of the stress off of your plate,
Oh
right?
my gosh. Yeah, that's um one of the things that we women, we want to say yes to. Our no's are gonna make our yes powerful. So I teach them like it's okay to say no. And and we go through the I feel bad, I'm letting them down, I'm not there for
Yes.
them. But yeah, there when we say no's, we're actually protecting our yeses. So yeah, I definitely encourage
Ooh.
them.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's creating, because I also think about like energy, right? When you're pouring into the nose and it's against what your inner self is saying, like you're saying yes to these things, but your body, you can feel it in your body, right? Your
Yes.
body's like it's resisting, but your mouth is saying yes, 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 and it takes away, like you said, the yeses. When we do want to provide extra energy in these other areas of our lives, how can we, right? How can we when we've been so drained on this side by saying no?
Exactly. Correct. Correct. Yeah, it's usually a certain amount of time. So let's say we do an 8-week session. We want to they came to me because they know that it's not so much of they need strategies. I mean, I do that too, but it's more so of how do we realign things to prioritizing things. So, like if they feel like they've been dropping the ball as being a mom, we try to
Mm,
put that back in. Like, okay, so how can you take off on your plate? Maybe delegate more of that. You can go to that soccer practice. You can help her with cheerleading, or you can invest time. So I think, and then not taking that business call at 5 p.m. at dinner time will help you protect that.
yeah.
So establishing boundaries on their schedule really is the first step that we do to
Oh, I
help
love
them.
that. I love that. And I definitely had to evaluate for my own self. I was like,
Yes.
wait a minute, why are the kids coming home from school and this should be, the family time? Years ago, it was the family time when the woman wasn't working and we were able
Right.
to cook these big meals and play games or do outside activities. And now it's like, it's almost like as much as I resist the tablet, I'm like, here, I have to do a work call. Here, I have to
Me
send some emails. Just
too.
just get on the tablet and I promise I'll be there. And then before you know it's bedtime, right?
Right.
And we miss out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's our
And then
sitters these days. Yes.
yeah, and then the emotions that come with that, the guilt, the shame, like you said, the moms that feel like, well, I don't feel like I'm there for my kids and how can I do better?
Yeah, totally. I'd like to put a story here. The thing that
Oh,
I found out is when we are business owners, and like you and I know, Liz, like when you have to wear the pants when we're not designed to, and we got to be the
mm,
mother and the father and the sister and the brother and all that stuff. Our families are also like not just our kids, but my family is also calling me too. So, um, I
yeah.
realized that I had to allow God to reframe things for me. Like I felt like the whole world was sitting on my shoulders. And I know as when we can relate to that, that every plate was crashing because I got really sick. I was in the ER every week with my stomach and I
Oh,
had no idea why. And I started realizing I was not designed to carry any other, every and I had to
wow.
also like release myself from the lies that I'm not enough for my kids. I'm never going to be the dad that, that they don't have. And those things like
Yeah.
that inner turmoil that needed to be released off of me. And so once I started to realize that I wasn't designed to do that and give myself permission to admit to my kids, I'll make mistakes. I'm sorry, I'll make mistakes along the way. But it just kind
Yeah.
of gave us permission to feel like home was home and it wasn't going to be like this strife place where mom's going to attack you because I'm so stressed out. Because that's how it was,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
we've had conversations with my eldest one, like, Mom, I didn't ask you to build something for me. Like, why are you so stressed and yelling at me? And I realized, like, that's the things that I needed to change, Liz. Like, if I'm building
Mm.
something for them, would they want it? Because if I'm just vomiting my stress, then yeah,
Oh,
something had to change.
yeah. Yeah. And, it's terrible that it takes like the hospital or something dramatic or burnout for us to be like, okay, this is a moment where I need to look at reality. Like, I cannot, this is not sustainable. I cannot continue like
Yes.
this.
Yes.
And, you know, it's unfortunate that it does happen that way. But also for the listeners who are listening, like, you have an opportunity to change at any time,
Come
right?
on.
You could hear this and say, okay, this is it. I am moving forward in a different direction. I'm going to
Hmm.
start being more aware of what are my triggers, what's going on in my household, with my family, at work, or with the people that I'm working with. What is trigger? I think that's one of the first steps, would you say, is like just having awareness
Yes.
around what is going on.
Yes. Awareness is key. And that's how we start in my sessions with them is just to get them to breathe, you know, don't
Okay.
think about the toaster oven. Don't think about everything else. Just breathe and just resetting their, neurons wire together, fire together, right? So just
Yes.
getting them to breathe. And then we start to be aware of this is what I've been thinking all along. This is why we're automatically programmed by our thoughts, right? So everything that we've been
Yes.
thinking about and things that we don't want to happen, you're still thinking about it. So you make it happen. So
Yeah, it's so true, right? Our subconscious is just running and taking over our lives. You and I have had conversations. We love Dr. Joe Dispenza,
yes,
right?
yes,
And what does he say? Your personality becomes your personal reality.
yes.
It's so true. How
So
you
true.
are, how you act, the way you think, it will come out into your actual life, your actual world.
Hmm.
So, what are some of the things that, okay, let's get into the breathing because I'll have to say, I don't know if you do the meditation. Some of that was really hard for me to start doing, right? It
Hmm.
wasn't something I was trained to do. And growing up, I was someone, I mean, I would go work out and go on runs without stretching, without taking a moment to breathe. Like, I was like, that's not necessary. Let's just go full hard in the gym, right? To a point where I was like, I need to slow down, right? And then I started learning yoga, and hats off to the yogis because that stuff is actually really hard holding those positions. Yeah. So what do you do? Yeah. How does the meditation come up, and are people resistant to it at first? What does it look like?
Yeah. So Liz, for me, I thought meditation was, I got to be honest, is some kind of hooky, hoaxy thing. Like, oh God, that's for the weird people, but it really isn't. It really helped me with my trading. That's something that as I watched Dr. Joe
Wow.
Dispenza, it's because you're such in a high pressure environment and every little splice second, the ticks are going against you. So it's either fight or flight, right? And I
Yeah.
needed to learn how to be like what he said, like meditation is just being familiar with instead of being familiar with frustration or scarcity or lack. Like I had to allow myself, since I'm a believer of God, like be familiar with what God said. What does God say about me?
Yeah.
That there is abundance, there is life. And so when I started meditating, it was hard Girl, it was hard at first to like, because
Yeah.
my mind was just all over the place, and that's what he said would happen. But the more I did it, 5 minutes turned to 10, turned to 15, and I started to realize like, oh my gosh, you just have to kind of break through that clutter. And I even
Yes.
wrote down all my clutter, and I wrote down how much anxiety I had about losses, about not being enough, about always being on that side.
Wow.
And by having that awareness, then I asked God, well, God, what do you say? What is the lie and what is the truth? And what happened was he started to renew me. Like he started saying, no, you have an
Mm-hmm.
abundance. You have the same miracle like Jesus has 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. You have that same miracle. And he started showing imagery, sailboat on an ocean. And so it started to make my body more addicted to peace. And
Wow.
yeah, and
That's
calm. And
beautiful.
then, girl, when I went into the market, no matter what was going on, I felt that calm, that peace. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is working, all because there's a conditioning on the inside, and your body now is undoing the frustration and yeah.
Yeah.
So that's meditation for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I found like peace, clarity,
Mhm.
stillness, and just whatever happens, happens, more things started coming.
Right?
More better relationships, my
Right?
fitness, nutrition was easier. Wealth, I feel like at times money just appeared. I was like, oh, and opportunities, right? Like
Yes.
opportunities are so crazy. They just come at you once you're like, well, whatever God provides, whatever the universe provides,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
really a
Correct.
beautiful thing. Let's peel back your faith. We are both women of God. And actually, that's where we met. Myron Golden's challenge, and he has expressed clearly that wealth is spiritual. And he has really given me permission to
Mm-hmm.
say, like, girl, go out and make some money, become wealthy. Those words and hearing his teachings have been so powerful to me. What was your journey like with your faith, Olivia?
When it comes to faith and money, or faith?
Yeah, yeah. Or just faith in general, and then how it kind of showed up money
Okay.
wise.
Faith in general. I grew up in a home where like there was a lot of what is that? Because I know my parents are going to watch this, so I have to be careful.
Yeah, my
uh,
parents started saying, hey, I saw your last podcast. I was like, let me
I
think back. Did I say
I know.
anything?
I know. I we grew up in a Christian home, but there are things that was going on in my life and my parents' life. There was a lot of trauma going on. There was a lot of things that were not dealt with. So I had a very weird view of God. So I didn't meet him until officially, like until like 2006, for myself, to understand that okay, I really want this. It's not because my parents had said this, because it was different. Like they modeled themselves at church, and then at home it
Mm,
was different. So I just didn't understand that. And so when I did receive the Lord and my journey began, girl, like I was sold that everything was going to be good, like trust the Lord with all your heart. And it was probably the roughest life of the next 7 years of my life.
wow.
Making 100,000 a year, and recession happened, and then our business went to zero. And then, I got pregnant, came to Colorado, almost died. It was like
Oh,
a constant place of tribulation. But I realized that like in my journey of faith, I had really zero. Like, girl, believing the unknown was zero for me. So that strengthened
mm,
me to trust in something I don't see. And it taught me how to hear God in that process, because he stripped me from everything that I knew I could control, because I love
yeah.
controlling things. But once he
Yeah,
stripped me
right?
of that,
I can
yeah,
relate.
but once he stripped me of that, I started realizing like he wanted to have his way, and I had to be okay that it wasn't going to be the outcome I thought. When it's supposed to happen, his soon is different from my
Yeah.
soon. So yeah, that's my journey of faith. So it's been a bit. It's been wild, and now it's fun because I understand that he was developing character and perseverance.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's so
Yes.
great. And thank you for sharing your journey. I always say, you like, we have a difficult time doing it, but when you do it, it just opens up so many other women to say, okay, I can share my story too. Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
alone, and all of these other things. So thank you for sharing that. And I'll share a little bit about mine as well. And
Great.
hey, mom and dad, I know you're watching. I was raised in a Catholic household, and my parents knew I was the middle child, and I was, questioning like, well, why do we have to do this, and why do we do this, and this doesn't
Right.
make sense. And it's the Catholic family. It's, well, this is how it is, right? Don't question that. So I dibbled and dabbled in different faiths, religions, trying to figure out where I was once I joined the military. And it wasn't until I always had my faith. I was just kind of confused, like
Yeah.
religion, no religion, Christianity, which I ultimately fell on. And my church now is Episcopalian, which I am there for the community. When I started having my children and I was in the church, I had a baby that was, well, she was almost 2, and then the twins were newborns. People
Mhm.
would just come and grab a child from me and help me out during service. And I was like, oh
Wow.
my gosh, I love this community. I love these people. And it's so fulfilling to go and be surrounded by people that have the same beliefs as you, and they're there to support you just like in the physical being in life. And it's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when it came to us, I think like getting into the wealth part, right?
Mhm.
The lies, right? You spoke about lies. You've said that a couple times on the podcast so far, and it's so true, right? There's been lies we have been fed growing up. Like literally, people use the saying filthy rich, right? Making it seem like wealth means you're a bad person, or
Yes.
wealth means something other than it actually really is. And we've been in rooms with very, very wealthy people, right?
Mhm.
And me personally, they're great people and I love them, and they've looked out for me and helped me out, whether it was in real estate or business. What are some of the lies that come up for you when you think about money, and especially women, right? Women
Mhm.
becoming rich and wealthy. Are there some lies that you had to kind of pull away from?
Yes. When I started realizing that, what you can't attract what you despise, right? Like I couldn't
Mm.
attract what I actually despise. And so when my mom, she's Korean, I'm half Korean, guys. So and
Hey.
she would always tell us, we're not like them. We're not like the rich people who's greedy and so selfish and, pride yourself that you're not like them. And so it was weird. Like I would make money and I would just have this feeling, girl, like disgusted feeling to give it away. Like I just couldn't hold on to it,
Mm.
so
Oh.
I was one of those people that like, oh, let me just tithe it away, sow it away because I don't want to be greedy. So that was one of the
Mm.
lies that I had to get rid of. And I realized that not just that, but scarcity. Scarcity is not a good thing. It's not kingdom, right?
Yes,
Girl, but like
yes.
the church celebrates it. And when I was in my journey and, I was doing mission work, oh gosh, like, oh wow, you're so holy because you look so humble with having nothing. And I'm like, this can't be right, girl. Like, how are we
Yeah.
supposed to help people if we don't have the finance? Okay, I'm going to give you my
Yes.
time, but I'm not supposed to be homeless, am I? Like, what?
Yeah. No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Mhm. So,
I mean, you and I both are big on, sorry, like the impact, right? I think you're about to get into it. Let's hear what you have to say about
yeah.
what we can
So,
do with our money.
exactly. So, for me, girl, it was like a definite U-Haul. God, would send a lot of people to pray over me, speak words over me that would be a millionaire and billionaire. And I'm like, it just kind of felt a little weird. But then I
Yeah.
started to understand that God wanted to renew my mind about money because it is spiritual.
Wow.
It is God's kingdom is not, he's not broke. He is not a God who's tight. He owns everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so the fact that with wealth, it's just how we steward it and how do we, I don't know, for me, I just needed to personally develop, you know what? It's not because rich people are bad. There are poor people that are bad too. So it doesn't matter in
Right.
class. It just matters how do you use it? And how do we steward this to be able to impact people and to be a blessing and
Yeah.
have fun,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and have fun, enjoy it. And I just feel like that also covers the mental health piece of it, right? When you
Yeah.
have more money, you're able
Yes.
to get excited about life. I am, when I feel good, I give more, right?
Yes.
I give more to the person who's delivering my groceries. I give more to the waitress when I'm at a restaurant, like because you just
Hmm.
feel good, you feel happy, you feel excited. And yeah, God wants us to create impact and help others, right? And can you
Hmm.
do that when you're struggling living paycheck to paycheck, right? You're like, oh, the world is against me. Everyone's against me. And you just get into this. For me personally, like I was $100,000 in debt when I was in the middle of my divorce. I was going through a foreclosure.
Wow.
And it was painful. It was such a painful place to
Mhm.
be. And when I got out of that, I was like, nope, no more, not ever again. And like you said, the scarcity mindset, I was like, nope, I attract abundance and abundance is coming my way. I started meditating, like we talked about. And then being in the right room with the right people that can teach us something that obviously, whatever we learned about wealth prior wasn't working for us. It was
Mhm.
not serving for us. So it was for me, I had to create a whole new network of people. I had to get in the rooms with the right people that were doing the right thing.
Yes.
What did that kind of look like for you, Olivia?
Oh my gosh, girl. Like, well, minus the $100,000 debt. Girl, I applaud you. That is a great accomplishment. Good
Thanks. It
job.
was a rough freaking time. But us women, we figure stuff out, right? I'm like, nope, I'm
Yes.
going to figure this out.
I think my journey is to be able to know that it's okay to release myself to make more and not apologize about it, but yet to understand that, so I help two different mindsets, Liz. I help people that are
Mm.
Christians and they've been there for a long time and they've been operating at a scarcity because they thought that was holy. I'm like, girl, that ain't no
Yeah.
holiness.
Yes, right.
I'm unpacking that and saying that's a lie because you can't be a steward if you're actually, by looking at you and you have not enough, you're actually being self-absorbed with you. And
Wow.
so we unpack that. And then I actually also myself, Liz, I had to change my tribe quite a few times, like you said, because that
Yeah.
tribe, like, yes, I love my childhood friends, but when they have a language, like we want to joke around how broke we are, like, girl, I'm so broke, like you're speaking that and you're creating
Yes.
that. And I know people think
Yeah.
that that's like bogus, but it's true. What you speak, it's coming from the heart. You really are creating those things. And so I had to change my tribe and started hanging out with people that talked about trading, talked about, all these logistics, the NASDAQ and all these things. It just like felt like so, what's that word? No habla español. It was not a language I spoke, but once you hang out
Yeah.
with them, girl, it was the norm, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you
Right.
change your tribe, you hang out with the norm, and then you're not like trying to defend your position with your friends. You're like, hey, friends, I'll come back to you, but I got to go, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because now you're pulled in. You're like, I'm in. I love this. This feels so
Yes.
good.
Yes. And so, yeah, for the financial arena, I just started, hanging out with people. And then I just watched what I watched instead of watching Netflix, which I love, girl. K dramas, thank you.
Yes, for sure.
But the play came after. If I'm not willing to do what most people are willing not to do, like if most people want to spend their weekends with
Yeah.
just having fun and, getting up the barbecue, I just told my girls just for a season, give me time to
Yes.
study, to hang out with a tribe that is so foreign to me, but I promise you it
Right.
will be rewarding for you
Right.
guys later. And girl, that's what happened. Abundance came
Ah,
because you know what I mean? Like you're hanging out with different circles and you're always willing to learn. So yeah, I don't know.
so good. And it's so good that you recognize like this is a chapter, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
not, I'm not going to be grinding, throwing everything in
Right.
for the rest of my life because then
Mm-hmm.
you'll reach burnout again. Like that's not going to serve anybody. But and to be able to have those conversations with your kids, that's just so beautiful, Olivia. I commend you for being open with them and saying like number one, mom's doing the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I am going to do the thing. And that's modeling the behavior that you want them to be like. If there's something you really want, you go for it. And that
Yes.
might mean friends need to wait on the sidelines. And that is okay. That is
Yeah.
absolutely okay. Because you can invite them, but it's not to say they're going to come with you.
Right, right. And Liz, speaking of our kids, I believe that like you and I are building, our kids are being modeled. My kids now have seen this so long that they're used to abundance. So anytime they hear someone speaking of lack, it's so like, oh, mom, like it makes him want to like vomit. It's not because they
Oh
look
my
down on
gosh.
people, but it's because they have been around abundance and they're like, well, my mom never says like we can't afford it. We're just going to figure out how can we.
Yes, that's so true. And
So
it's
our
switching your
kids,
language.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
I love that. I need to meet your kids and I need them to hang around my kids. Like my kids are they're learning, but I also walk around the house like practicing my speeches and saying affirmations and saying like I'm getting hyped for this meeting later because I have a potential buyer for my real estate investment flip that I'm doing right now.
nice.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
walking around the house and I'm telling myself, like, this house is going to sell for this and I'm going to profit for this. And then, like, we're going to do all these things. We get to go on a trip, and then a lot of it's going to go back to reinvesting. Like, we're not just going to
Hmm.
blow all of our money and have
Hmm.
all this fun. Like,
Yes.
we're still in that season. We're still in that season of growth, but still have fun with it in the meantime. And it's just been such a journey to see. Number one, my kids are in the public school system, which scares the crap out of me. Deep breath. But
Mm,
I also look at that because I do want to go back to homeschooling my kids. That's my ultimate goal. And it will happen because I speak it into existence.
nice.
And, when the workload really picked up and I was like, I had to choose, right? It's sometimes hard for us to make decisions as mom. And we feel like the world is pressuring us either way. But I chose to put them back in school, and I'm looking at it like this is a season. You're going to go to school so mom can go boom, 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 do all this business, entrepreneurship, and real estate. And in the meanwhile, while I'm building, you guys are getting whatever the school system thinks they need. I don't fully agree with it, but I'm able to give them a different aspect of life because they're not being taught the financials of life. They're
Yes.
not being taught the everyday things that we need to survive. Like this is why my generation got like so behind and anybody else who went through school. What are your beliefs on that? Where do you think your lies came from? Just life in general, society?
Well, before I go into that, can I just say, I just want to, because naturally this is what I do in my sessions. I want to commend
Yeah.
you, Liz. That's
Oh,
amazing. You're so vulnerable. And I love the fact that your kids are so blessed to have you because no matter, I just want you to know that you should be really, really proud because girl, you took all excuses away and you're being so brave and courageous and they are watching their hero every single day. It's you.
oh,
No,
you're
I'm serious. So
gonna make
I
me
just
cry.
no, I'm
Thank
serious
you.
because I understand your struggles. I get you. You know that single moms like we just have it a little bit different, but I just love that you're going after it and you're not speaking defeat. And so you're really training up your children. And so whether they're not they're in the public, you're the one that's disciple them for the rest of their lives. So yeah, I just wanted to say
Oh,
that like it's amazing what you're doing. It's cool. It's
thank you.
you're gonna see so much harvest because my 20-year-old, yeah, I didn't see it at first, but girl, it's like okay, so it will take. I promise you.
You're like, I did really good. Once they're older, right? You're like, shoot, I did really good.
Yeah, they'll remember all the snow days you're doing. It's so amazing
Oh,
to them. You'll see. You'll see. It'll pay off, girl. I'm proud of you.
that's beautiful. And I really appreciate your kind words because when you're in the struggle of it, you're like, my gosh, my world is collapsing on me.
So your question about, can you tell me
Yeah,
again?
maybe because we've talked a little bit about lies
Okay.
and we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to live a certain way, to look at wealth, to look at our health, our fitness, the
Yeah.
foods, right, that are
Yes.
surrounding us, the lies we've been told. What are maybe some of the other ones that you have, whether they're about finances or just anything in particular? And then, or woman in success, that would be a good one.
Ooh.
But
Actually, yeah.
also, like, where
Go
did
ahead.
yours come from? What do you remember?
I so growing up on the islands of Hawaii, I can't say this for all, but having that Asian descent, um, we would look at people that would be successful borderline like they had pride.
Mm.
Girl, like when God called me to move to Colorado, like I didn't really know anyone here. And I'm like, what's here? And he called it the promised land. And I needed to actually relocate to get out of the light of living under small, inferior Olivia. Right.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
man, like when I got here, I didn't speak standard English like how I'm speaking to you now. Like if I go back to the
Oh
islands,
my God.
they look at me like, what is wrong with you? You're not speaking with our slang. And I just always felt like I needed to be small and I couldn't take my space. But coming
Wow.
here, yeah, coming here, it was a whole new ball game. I mean, these people be rolling. They're like, you know what I mean? You get in or get out of my way. And I was like, snap. Like
Oh my
these
gosh.
became my mentors and they're like, Olivia, stop apologizing, like own up to it and let's get over it. Let's get in, done. You know what I mean? Like,
I
so
love
the
that.
lies that I really overcame was um I don't need to be understood anymore. Like it's all good,
Oh,
you
so good.
know, like because if you liking me, especially because we're podcasters, your thumbs up is extra as long as I know I did what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm in the fullness of it. Your like is extra. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
my
so I
gosh, I
give that to my
love
women. I'm like,
that.
hey, the magazines, the ads, all these things that told us we're not enough. And
Yeah.
like seriously, we are because of who God says we are. Now we can step on the treadmill, women, and shed a
Yeah.
few more pounds, but this comparison that I need to live up to what you think I need to, no,
Yeah.
not anymore. And that's the big lies that I felt like I'm not going to apologize for being successful. I'm not going to apologize because I'm going out there and making it happen and you feel comfortable hiding. It's okay. That's what you want to do, but don't make it my norm. Don't put
Yeah.
labels on
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so powerful. And it just makes me think like, yes, you are in whatever location you're in, but think of how life-changing it is to just go plant yourself somewhere else,
Right.
a whole different environment. That
Like,
is
so
that's
yes.
motivating to me. I'm getting out of Maryland ASAP. I'm getting a new circle. I've been talking this up, and anybody who follows me knows I'm not going to be in Maryland very long. I'm looking at either Florida or Texas area where I can get more heavily into the real estate investing where the markets
Yeah.
are taking off. So, and if that ends up being somewhere else by the time summer comes around, hey, I'm fluid here. I just roll with whatever God provides. If
Let's
He gives me
go.
a sign that says elsewhere, where do you need me to be?
Right.
But yeah, the opportunities, right? The opportunities that come about when you plant yourself wherever you were before. And for those that are listening, wherever you are, if you're not happy with your life and it feels like
Mhm.
you're just sucking at everything and you're like, I just want life changed, it's not working, go just plant yourself somewhere else and see
Come
how life will
on.
change. Yeah. Which makes me think, which I've always reflected back, right? When I go on vacations or in a hotel or put myself in a different environment, I've always noticed I'm like, oh, why is it so much easier to eat better here? Why is it I'm hitting the gym every day here? Why am I walking more when I'm
Mhm.
in different locations? Why do
Mhm.
why do we feel at peace? Why do we feel so at peace when we're on vacations, right? And then immediately when you get back into your regular home atmosphere, all that stress that we talked about in the beginning, it's like it all just
Yes.
your environment, right? You're familiar, your house, it's a mess when you come in with all the kids' stuff everywhere. It triggers us, right? We talked a little bit about cortisone levels and stress and uh, whereas if you go to a hotel and it's nice and clean when you walk in,
Yes.
hey, I feel great, right? I feel at peace.
Yes. I totally agree, girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm also like working on writing a book. And actually, I did this a couple years ago. I just got a hotel room for like 2 nights to just fully get out of my environment and be somewhere else. Be somewhere that where it's a clean space, a clear mind. Nobody shut that phone off, throw it in the bathroom, whatever.
Yes, yes, yes.
No distractions.
You know, they said that I went to an artist boot camp and because I was going into acting, and one of the things that they said was creatives. They like who's that group? You two? Is it you two? Bono?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So they literally had stopped creativity and they were like at a halt with their album. And so they literally go, just like what you were saying, they relocated to a different country and boom, the song started going.
Ooh.
And so I did that too, where I go to hotels just like you do. And sometimes just that shift of environment, it releases the creatives in us and it releases that like the frequency at home, the stress, the burdens, the okay, here's a role of a mom again, or these are my how-tos.
Yeah.
Sometimes my daughter's like, Mommy, please go get rest. We got it. No worries. Come back rested and we'll pick it up later. You know what I mean? And so it's true what you're saying.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think about like our healing journey too, right? When we go through something traumatic in our life, and this is just shown across the board. If
Yeah.
you are someone who struggles with alcohol or PTSD, they might have
Right.
retreats or centers that you go to. I know when was going through my divorce, I went home. I lived with my parents, with my
Mhm.
4 kids, and it's crazy. I found the most peace that I've had in 15 years when I
Wow.
planted myself and 4 kids in one single bedroom at my parents' house. And I was like, how did I leave a 500,000 4 bedroom, 3 bath house that was just built brand new? And it was so stressful. How did
Yes.
I end up in this tiny bedroom with my 4 kids away from their dad, out of my entire existence as I knew life, like my friends, everybody in my neighborhood? I just wiped clean of everything and moved an hour and 40 minutes away.
Wow.
Girl, I found the most peace I had in my entire adulthood. So
Yes.
when I say that, like for the listeners, like you don't have to go spend thousands on a retreat or
Right.
vacation. Like
Right.
it might be a patch in the neighborhood, patch of grass or in the woods where you just sit by yourself and find that peace.
Yes. Liz, I think that in today's society, we have valued of, our smartphones, all these electronics to keep us more efficient, but we don't treasure that sometimes just turning it off for good. Do not disturb is there for a reason. Like having that peace, that's where the stillness, the Bible says, like, be still and know that he's God. Like what you did, that is so cool because we need that support, especially if we go through something hard and we need our families. And I did the same. I was in Cali when things happened. Me and my husband split, and it was really, really hard. And I was taking it really hard. And I tried to be
Hmm.
an actress, and they were saying all these things that I could do this and I could do that. But girl, I felt so lost in my soul.
Yeah.
And being that mom of two, I'm like, I'm drowning and I need help. And so I came back to Colorado. My family supported me through it. So I get it. Like that's what brought me
Wow.
back to that place of okay, it's gonna be calm again. It's not gonna have to be the tornadoes that I was facing. So
Yeah.
yeah. And that's when abundance
Yeah.
comes out of that again, is from peace, right?
Yeah, it really does. Like, I can think of so many situations in my life when I pulled away from chaos,
Mhm.
like, just stuff just started coming my way. And I'm like,
Right.
whoa, I've been searching for this. I've been pulling for it. I've been
Yeah.
asking for it. But God is not going to provide that when we are just all over the place and shooting in the dark and accepting negative energy in our lives. Like,
Mhm.
no, you have
Mhm.
permission to let that go. You're allowed to have your own space. You're allowed
Yeah.
to set up boundaries and say no to stuff. And then when you find the calm and life just goes the way you've been asking. You're like, why was I working so hard? I
Yep.
just needed to be still.
Yes. Totally. Totally.
So powerful. I love it. Is there anything else you want to share about your journey or what you're working on today, Olivia?
Um, well, what I'm working on today, I did create a 5-day challenge for my ladies, and they're all related. I believe that we women, I actually know really, really good friends that are going to watch this, Liz, and they're so giving. We give so much of ourselves, to our family, to our kids, that the last person that gets an oxygen mask is us. And
Mm.
their health, girl, like their health got taxed, and we got like diabetes, we got, high cortisol. So, that's been my journey for the last 2 years, is seeing things shift. Even if abundance came, I still found my body kind of like adjusting to these different maturity ages that I'm in. And I started realizing, like,
Right.
the internal things that we say as women is we blame us, like, what's wrong with me? Why isn't this working? I'm doing all the things I know, juicing, dieting, my hit workouts. What's wrong with me? And I just want to share that there's nothing wrong with you. Things just, they just changed, and we just need to adjust. And by doing that
Yeah.
adjustment, so for me, girl, I've been on a ketovore carnivore diet, and it was tough, but I realized like the weight was not bulging. I went up to a 12, size 12. I'm back to a 4 now.
Oh,
And
wow. Congratulations.
yes, but I realized that we women will put identity in our weight, in our body, right? I mean, we
Mm.
do.
Yeah. Yeah, we
So,
do.
and so it's when I stopped, I wanted to tell your viewers, like, it's okay to release that self hatred and stop comparing yourself to that 20-year-old self, because you're still
Yeah.
fabulous, you're still amazing. And we just need to make adjustments to how you talk to you first. And then those
Yeah.
habits will come, those habits, that making those lifestyle choices. But if you hate you, it's really hard to get along with your body. You know what I mean?
That is very true. That is, you have to love yourself and then you'll treat yourself better. But the first step, you've got to turn inward. You got to find the inner peace. You got to stop blaming, not be shameful for your
Yes.
past. I mean, once I switched those shifts for me personally, I get excited. Like I get excited. I think aging is amazing. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather be the 40-year-old self I am now than my 20s. Like this is way more exciting to me. And
Aw.
the life that I've built, like there's no way I would choose my younger self over this. Like, and it gives me like the excitement for like not trying to age quicker, but where's it going? Like, ooh, and I also think like, God, what do you have in store for me? Can you like tell me? Because I'm so
Wow.
excited.
Oh, I love that. So you framed it like anticipation.
Yeah, and I also do this, Olivia, with the challenges or the obstacles that come my way in life, right? So like if I'm working on a real estate deal and the flip is done and it's not selling, you could go down a really dark path, start to freak out, start to say, I'm going to be in debt. I'm going to lose. Like, nobody's going to lend to me again. This is a bad deal. But I sit here and say, okay, God, I see you. I know you're stewing up something. And I'm like, just tell me, what is it? Like, because there's always this growth. There's
That
always
is
this
so
beautiful
true.
growth after these
Oh,
challenges, right? If the hard thing is like we don't stop and look back. It's hard for women to stop, say, okay, what are the things that I've overcome
mhm.
that gives me proof that I can be successful in the next thing, right? If we were able to like go back the 5 to 10 years and make a line, like I birthed a human being,
Come
I
on.
created a life. Like I can figure out a real estate deal. Like this
That is
is this
so
is a tiny thing,
good. Oh my
right?
gosh.
But
Wow.
it's hard for us to like give ourselves credit for the amazing things we've already accomplished.
Wow. Girl, motivational speaker in the house. Let's go.
Yeah, but I just, once I started reframing it like that, of course I have hard times, right? We all do. We all
Yes.
especially women, our hormones, and depending on what time of the month that challenge comes in, it might be a different ball game. But yeah, I think a lot of it is our mindset, right? Building that. We spoke about that a little bit in the beginning, and really shifting how we've been conditioned to think and look at things, and being like, no, there's a more abundant way to really look at, have a positive outlook about what the possibilities, like the possibilities are limitless.
Yes. Can I ask you a question in the mindset space that you and I are doing? Do you
Yeah.
feel like the women or the people you're helping, or it's women, do they
Hmm.
see that it's a mindset change that they need? Or like, do you have to kind of help them see that it is a mindset change? Because a lot of them are looking for results. And
Yes.
okay,
This is so
what's
true.
your,
Right.
mhm,
A lot of women and listeners here, you're probably looking at, I want to get rich. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to become fit. I want a loving relationship with a partner that I can spend the rest of my life with. Those are
right?
all the tangible results that we all look for. And I get that. It's what you want, but that's not actually what you need. What you need is to recondition the way you think, reprogram those negative thoughts that you're creating inside your head, and at no fault of our own, right? This
Mhm.
is just stuff that we've picked up along our journey here in life, unfortunately. Once you start seeing that, you're like, wait, it really was the way it really was my
Yes.
mindset.
Yes.
But you can't start with that. You got to start with, okay, we're going to lose 20 pounds. And these are the steps that we're going to take. But as a coach or as someone who's getting somebody to the end of that journey, how do you feel when I tell you we're going to go walk a mile today? What is your mind telling you when I say we're going to eat a salad for lunch, right?
Right.
And that's when you like get down deep and with the client, and for those that are listening, just do it with yourself. Like, what are you telling yourself when it's
Yes.
time to go to the gym?
Yeah.
Is that what you're seeing too,
Yes.
Olivia?
Same thing. They're like, "I
Yeah.
want the results, Olivia." And I'm like, "I know." And so, like you say, I'm like, "Okay, but let's put practical habits in there." And then they're like, "But I don't want to work
Habits.
out," you know?
Yeah, and it's building those habits, right? Well, maybe
Mhm.
we don't start with a mile. Maybe we start with getting our sneakers on and
Yes.
approaching the door.
Yes. Yes, that is true. I had one client who just showed up at the gym and did nothing and left. And I'm like, "All right, that's a start. That's a
That's
start."
a win. Yeah, that is absolutely a win, because you're like, okay, I did that. Now the next time I'm
Exactly.
going to go do the treadmill, or I'm going to go stretch, right? Or even walk around. Like if you're intimidated by a gym, we all
Mhm.
were when we started, but
Right.
walk around. Or a lot of gyms set up like the one-on-one. Let me introduce you to whatever else. When I get intimidated with like gym equipment, right? Especially for women, it's so important for us to lift weights. I always give this tip to women, because being surrounded by men lifting heavy weights it can be intimidating. So I will just get there and I will act like I'm texting someone, but I'm actually like reading the step-by-step label on the piece of equipment that says how to do the
Oh, that
exercise.
is
Because
good tip.
nobody wants to stand there and like, step one, sit down. Step two, strap your legs in. So I'm like just texting a friend, but I'm also like, I'm reading it and looking at the picture and trying to figure out what this equipment is.
That's cool.
So everybody's on their phone at the gym. So
Yeah,
you look normal.
you look totally normal.
Yeah, super cool. Well, I love that you bring that up, because that is definitely what we need to make transformation,
Yes.
right? We need the mindset shifts, because whatever you've been thinking in the past has not been serving you.
Exactly. Exactly. That is
And
so
then you
true.
layer that with God and faith and your belief that he's going to provide and make stuff happen. Whew, you have a foolproof system that's just gonna work miracles for you.
Yeah, to elaborate on that, I know we're probably wrapping up, but I wanted to share like you cannot when I started realizing that I cannot compound zero, when
Yes.
I can't
Ooh.
compound lack. So to
Mhm.
really get in there is to be able to just spend the time, in the Word. And if you're not someone of faith, then you can spend the time to, get your breathing in and start to have a journal out and to see what have you been thinking about. And if those thoughts are lined up with you don't have enough, I don't have enough time, anything that made you feel inadequate, those are all things that telling you you're less than, right? And so then
Yeah.
in order to get to the other side, which a lot of women want to, Liz, then they have to be
Yeah.
more familiar with the true. I have endless opportunities. Okay, so I didn't get this deal, but tomorrow I'm going to have more, and so the more that person recodes that way, girl, it's just like synchronicity. It starts to open up because the world is coming to you now. You look like an open book. You look like, "Hey,
Yes.
I want your help, but come here," And so that goes with our health, that goes our wealth, even relationships. Instead of being a closed book because you need to protect yourself, self-protected, you can release those lies that nobody can really hurt you unless you let them. So I mean,
Yes.
that's a big one for me. So I'm like, oh, okay, once I let go of all these hurts, I can be open to love again. I can be open to having a sister
Oh,
again. Yeah, so I think that
it's
that is
so
so
true.
cool, to
No, I
recode.
love
Go ahead.
how you said that. You can't compound zero. I mean, that was like, whoa, yes, that is so true. You can't compound lack, but when you have abundance, just snowball effect, right? It keeps
Yep.
growing and growing.
'Cause
And you're right. When someone hurts you, you're
yeah,
allowing that hurt, right?
because how did you get out of 100,000 in debt? Did you imagine this big snowball coming at you all the time that debt was going to drown you, or how did you get out of it? Liz?
For me, I knew the habits that I was doing wasn't helping. The divorce put me in a lot of debt that I had to clean up. And so I researched as much as I could, but then I was like, I need to take steps. I need to do this, whether it was really that's when I started to get into entrepreneurship and doing things where my 9 to 5, that was a set salary. That was not going to change. I did also work to make sure myself was ready for the next level. Being a
Mhm,
federal government employee, you have to have
mhm,
52 weeks. Like there are
mhm.
standards that I had to meet. But anybody listening, like get your resume right because what you're being paid now, you're
Yeah.
probably worth twice as much.
Wow.
So for me, it was changing my habits. It was getting other sources of income, having multiple sources of income. That is something like all of us women need to do. We don't know where the workforce is going, unfortunately, with AI and robots and everything taking over the world, right? So
Right.
I really think for women, even though we weren't taught this stuff, we weren't taught finances, we weren't taught wealth, it's
Yes.
more important than ever to get on board. And we're here, right? We are here and we love to give. Women love to give. So come and get some of this. It's the best time is today if you didn't do it yesterday, right?
So good. Yeah. You focused on solutions. That's awesome.
Yes, right? Yeah, problem solver for sure. Well, everyone's going to want to follow you after this, Olivia. So, what are your socials, your website? How can they get in contact with you? Yep. And we'll put that in the show notes so everyone can just click the link. That's way easier than trying to search for anything. So I always ask every guest at the end of the episode if there is one message that you want to leave the listeners with. What is that message, Olivia?
And I would say, ladies, you are beautiful. You're amazing. You are so great at what you do. Never let anyone second guess who you are. Go and be great and release yourself to your greatness so everybody can see how you're created to be. That's it.
I love it. So good. So
All
beautiful.
right.
Thank you, Olivia,
Thank
so
you,
much.
Liz.
Thank you for the amazing conversation. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing with the audience of She Elevates. Love this conversation. Love your beauty. Love everything that you have to offer as a mom, as a business owner, as an educator, everything. So thank you. I'm so grateful for you.
Liz, thank you so much. I really enjoyed being here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I created something powerful for the woman who's tired of playing small. If you're done surviving and you're ready to rise, this is for you. It's called the She Elevates Blueprint, a 7-day transformational guide to help you reclaim your power, reset your mindset, and redesign your life from the inside out. We're talking confidence, clarity, boundaries, money, love, healing, purpose, every area of your life. Each day, you'll get a journal prompt, an aligned action, an affirmation, and a voice note from me, yours truly. So it feels like I'm right there cheering you on. You're going to feel seen. You're going to feel grounded. And by day 7, you won't even recognize you. If you've been waiting for a sign to elevate your life, this is it. Tap the link, download your free copy of the She Elevates Blueprint, and let's step into your next level together. You're not alone. You're not broken. You're becoming. Let's rise, my queen. Thank you for tuning in to the She Elevates podcast. I hope today's episode poured into you, reminded you of your power, and gave you something to take with you on this journey of elevation. Share it with a friend, your sister, your tribe, because when one of us rises, we all rise. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review. It helps more women find this movement and step into their highest self. Want more? Come hang with me over on Instagram at Liz Rankin Elevates, or join our free She Elevates community on Facebook, where we heal, grow, and glow together. Until next time, remember this: you're not behind, you're not broken, you're becoming. Keep rising, queen. Your next level is already calling.